What is up, guys? Wraec is here with a new video, and today I want to show you guys a little bit of a clear. It all resulted from a little discussion on the Isle Heroes discussion server where we talked about that I don't really do guides about early, mid and late game, which obviously I don't really have an idea about that. I do some fancy stuff on the Amazon server, but it's not really applicable to usual players. Amazon server is special in that way. And when I did early, mid and late game, well, in E5 Garuda was still meta. You would use ticks to clear Tower of Oblivion and 5-star heroes with magic stone swords to go through Gate of the Void, specifically Void Vortex, and would clear Void Vortex Defier with a regressed monster, and you would regress your Phoenix because it had some heal, and also you would need to take off the HP node and all of that fancy stuff. Well, that is no longer the case. There are way better options, and I didn't really explore those. So what I said then was like, well, yeah, it's kind of true. And one said, well, if I did the guide for the Voidboss, it would be just like play 6 heroes, so obviously referring to me having pretty strong heroes in that sense. And I said, well, I can do it with 5, just as a joke. And then I tried to beat it, and what I did was basically going to the boss. Voidboss 1, difficulty 10, the strongest difficulty. You can see there's still 1 chance remaining. And well, we're not going to use all of those guys. We're just going to use this guy, front row, Nemean, I think he's called. Can activate the core, but it doesn't work when he's alone. We're just going to use DTV to clear it. And that is something that I tried. I'll show you the setup in a bit. Assuming we can clear it, we will see about that. Don't really take too much damage here. It usually works. Because we have balanced strike, so we regain our HP, we gain a shield from our transition power, so we get quite tanky, and there should be the clear in one of the next turns. We ever so slightly missed our attack window. And there it is. With the turn 7 clear, that usually is a turn 7 clear, we're just ever so slightly off the turn 6 clear. I think we could even make the turn 5 clear, and the way it works, obviously, we take way less counterattacks with the single DTV, which makes this a bit easier, and well, it is Divine Power 9 now, so that's insane. And it was just a joke that I could clear it with like a single hero, and I was surprised myself it worked out. So the way we did it was, I used this homeowner, DTV I cleared campaign with. We have 5.6 billion HP, we have 56 million attack, 8,300 armor, 2,600 speed, so we are actually outspeeding the enemies. Full soul power on this hero, bringing it to roughly 14,000 attack on here. And we have Giant Killer, Hunter's Focus, Crit Holy Damage, which I still intend to improve, but that's the way it works. Also, if we look at the stat line, there are some holds in here. We have skill damage at a decent value, 84% precision, crit 41%, crit damage 145. So we're not really capped on those values. Armor break 68%, but that is of course not entirely true, as Void buffs from Treasure Train work in here. So we end up with a grand total of like over 100% armor break. We can take a look at that as well. So that also helps, obviously. We have the warrior buffs, which are displayed in there, like those, the transcendence buffs that are displayed in there, so those work as well. And then we have those void campaign buffs, and in there obviously some nice stuff like 160 skill damage, great for us in this case. And then we have block, missing block for us to get 100%, some all damage reduction. And then, where is it? Armor break 35.6%. So enough for us to get over 100% quite easily. Some damage reduction, even though we don't have any damage reduction equipped, we have 35% here. All damage dealt, damage reduction by attack, which also was resulted in us taking 1 damage from the minions on turn 1. If you scroll back, you can see that. And 17% crit, actually. And this helps us actually line our stats with campaign. And then we have skill damage here. We have precision, and we have crit damage. We are not taking any crit because we want to use balanced strike. And for the enables, we're mostly going red with a bit of control purify. We could go attribute reduction purify. Taunt isn't too bad for us on this one. Full subs, and here we have active skill. We have an additional shield, so that's why we had a shield in the front row. This one, I'm not even sure if it works actually, but it's extra attack. Full damage to the entire enemy team. and then some all damage reduction. And this skill, obviously for frontline allies, damage reduction by 8% and attack by 8%. A small buff, basically. So that is what we used, and it's quite insane how I remember. And that is actually the moment where I have to say I made a guide about this, a serious guide, not something like this. Early on, when I first initially cleared this, I made a video, I made a guide with a team for this game mode. And right now, this is obviously not a serious guide at all. This is just showing off that we could clear it with a single hero, which was insane to me. But obviously our strength has risen quite a lot. We now have Divine Power 9. I cleared it with Divine Power 2, I think. And if we take a look at this Voidboss, let's choose the boss selector. It has Divine Power 6. So when we initially cleared it, we were below in Divine Power. Now we are above it. So it's indeed way easier now just based on this. Because obviously, as you know, Transition Temple, we have the Divine Power gap. If you don't know what that is, I made a guide about that as well. So those are mostly the topics I do guides about. We first had a Divine Power gap of 4 against us. So the boss did 40% more damage and was 25% resistant to our damage. Now we have 3 more, so we deal 30% more and the boss deals 20% less to us. So that's now big difference actually at that point. And obviously, well, stats is kind of insane with all the Destiny transition stuff with Soul Power and all the updates that we got ever since we got the first Voidboss. It is quite a big change, and it is quite insane how strong this copy actually is. Beyond that, we actually got a kind of a little announcement there, which also triggered me making a video about Voidbosses now. It was announced that we are going to see the third Voidboss soon. Not any specific date yet, but we are going to see it soon, and I'm kind of eager to see it. It is supposed to be an assassin boss, at least that is what most people are expecting. And there is also an assassin boss in Realmsgate, and I think this assassin boss indeed has Wraec's ability. Wraec's ability, the not the Shadow Lock, defense down. So reduces the target 100% of armor, damage reduction, all damage reduction, block and dodge. And particularly this boss was quite vulnerable to you having like 3 carries on the team. You would just have 3 carries on the team. He would hit the defense down targets, which was always a carry. The carry would die. He would then hit the next one, sometimes killing them. And then the carries would revive. And you could infinitely do that and just deal damage with 1 or 2 heroes on your team. And obviously this doesn't work because now we are in Void campaign. No more carry. So, well, gotta think of another strategy, but we can be kind of sure that if there is a defense down on one of our heroes, that hero is probably going to die fairly fast. Which means we are looking at burst strategies probably. Dodge strategies are not going to work because we have kind of dodge here. And crowns obviously know all damage reduction, so that's a bit of a problem as well. Scaling buffs can work, but most of them are difficult to trigger because your hero is not going to block. So like something like HHA is not going to work at all. So we have to see what we are going to do against those bosses. Obviously a huge DTV burst is promising. And LFA burst, probably something like that. And that is something that I can see. Or we're finally going to do something with this SSM. I could see that. It's also a huge burst here. We got kind of a nice roll here. Giant Kill, Defire, Armor Break, Damage Reduction. Maybe we're going to do something like that, though the switch to that, obviously a bit difficult. Let me know what you think about the power creep. I think most people kind of don't like it. I think it's sometimes just funny to see. And what you expect for boss number 3. Let me know in the comments down below. And with that, I also want to thank you guys for 9,000 subscribers. Never expected that many people to watch my videos. Honestly, when I started this channel, I initially didn't expect anything. What I did was, I had some gameplay, I recorded, just did something, I don't know, some clear in Void or Vortex or Realmsgate or something like that, some boss fight, and I just uploaded that. And then I noticed like, okay, got like 100 views, 200 views, 300 views, something like that. Kept increasing, and then at one point I decided to just make videos with my voice actually, and people like that, and ever since I've been doing videos on YouTube. But I never went in there expecting to have 9,000 subscribers in the time where June or GDP, which were legends at the time when I started playing the game, which were legends for me as well, always loved their videos, or respectively the live streams of June, and never expected to surpass them in subscribers, which is absolute madness to me. So thank you guys for that. Well, now it's the road for 10K. 10K for me is also such a huge milestone. I'm expecting we will reach that. I'm just hoping for the best, and I want to thank you guys from the bottom of my heart once again. And with that, I would say I wish you guys a great day, and we'll see us in the next one.